Fido, and welcome to the Pantheon, where today we're having a look at one of the new Dungeons & Dragons commanders, and it's an uncommon. It is Targ Nar, Demon-Fang Gnoll. It's a red and a green for a 2/2 Gnoll. And it's got pack tactics. Whenever it attacks, if you attacked with a creature with total power 6 or greater this combat, attacking creatures get +1/+0 until end of turn. And then we can pay 4 mana to double Targ Nar's power and toughness until end of turn. Nice bit of pumpage there. Could get in there for some commander damage. Really quite a cool commander. And like the whole look of this card, like the whole Gnoll thing, looks so awesome and cool. Really cool card, doubling power and toughness, always pretty goddamn powerful. And also the pack tactics, it's an interesting battle cry sort of effect, you know, pumping all of your attacking things. So quite a few things that we can have a look at. If you like these videos, please do consider subscribing, making one for every single legendary creature. Well, there's a lot of them, so we're going to be here for a while. But come join me on the journey. Without further ado, let's have a look at the top 5. And in at number 5, we have Subira Tulvidi Caravana. 3 mana for a 2/3 with haste, and you can pay 1. Another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. And pay 2, tap, discard your hand until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So this really led me into really, you know, 2-power sort of creatures. And because our commander is a 2-power creature, we can activate that ability. Our commander can't be blocked this turn. We're going to get in for some damage. And before combat damage, we can double our commander's power. So this is a really sort of cool theme, and I wanted to play around with that. And there's a lot of ways of giving things unblockable for 2-power creatures. And then the final ability there, you know, discarding your hand and drawing tons of cards. Well, we can make tons of things unblockable. Maybe we're going to play some tokens, possibly. And all of those getting in will draw us a ton of cards with this card. So absolutely fantastic card. Then we've got Goblin Tunneler, 2 mana for a 1/1 Goblin Rogue. Tap, target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. So again, great for use on our commander, and we're going to have a couple of other creatures that we can use this on as well. Then there's Break Through the Line, 2 mana for an enchantment, pay a red. Target creature with power 2 or less gains haste until end of turn and can't be blocked this turn. So this is fantastic because our commander will be removed. You know, it's a big threat, swinging in for tons of damage. So giving it haste is fantastic, and red is always good at that. For a single red, can't be blocked in haste. Yeah, okay, pretty goddamn good. And it's not just good with our commander, we're going to build the whole deck around it. Then we've got Pathmaker Initiate, 2 mana for a 2/1. Target creature power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn. Absolutely fantastic, exactly where we want to be going with the deck. Then we've got Dwarven Nomad, 3 mana for a 1/1. Target creature power 2 or less can't be blocked. There's unblockable this turn, or can't be blocked. Fantastic. And then there's also Dwarven Warriors, 3 mana for a 1/1. Exactly the same text. And look at that artwork. I love it. That beard is incredible. I could only wish to have such a full and luscious beard. And also, my girlfriend would leave me if I grew it that long. But if we're playing all these dwarves, Magda Brazen Outlaw is a really cool include. 2 mana for a 2/1. So all of these things that allow us to get in with our 2-power creatures, Magda can get in there. Other dwarves you control get +1/+0. And whenever a dwarf you control becomes tapped, creates a treasure token. So we can make a nice bit of ramp from all of these dwarves tapping to allow us to get in with our commander or other creatures. Then we can sacrifice 5 treasures. Search your library for a dragon or artifact card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Excellent tutor effect, can get you some ramp, or maybe just a big threat, Blightsteel Colossus maybe. Though it doesn't have 2 power. Solemn Simulacrum, we can search up Solemn, wonderful. Which brings me on to my number 4 pick, and at number 4, we've got a couple of creatures with 2 power that can get in and get us some great effects. Centaur Rootcaster, 4 mana for a 2/2 Centaur Druid. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a basic land card and put that card onto the play tapped. If you do, shuffle your library. Now, our commander's ability, 4 mana, it's pretty mana intensive, so being able to get a lot of ramp out there is incredible. And look at that poor person's hair. It's growing into roots. I don't quite understand the theme of this card. A centaur just hitting a person, they're becoming roots. I suppose that is sort of what it happens with the card. I don't know. But it's a great card for getting in there with all of our unblockable things. Then Ragavan Nimble Pilfer is a similar card. 1 red for a 2/1. When it deals combat damage to a player, creates a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library. At the end of turn, you may cast that card, and you pay it for its dash cost, so 2 mana, but it gets haste and then goes back to your hand at the end of the turn. This is fantastic. Getting that treasure is the main thing we want here. You know, a nice bit of ramp to accelerate us into our later turns. But just making, being able to cast from the top of our opponent's library could mess up their combo. We could get something absolutely fantastic from it. Then we've got Grenzo Havoc Razor. 2 mana for a 2/2. He's a bear. No, he's not. He's a Goblin Rogue. What a fool I am. And whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to player, choose 1 gold target creature that player controls. So, you know, makes them attack and they can't attack you. So really mess with the table in that way. And exile the top card of that player's library. It's very similar to Ragavan there. And you can spend mana as though mana of any color to cast it. So excellent bit of advantage. And this turns all of your creatures into mini little Ragavans. Absolutely fantastic. You can get tons of advantage of it. And it can be made unblockable with all of that 2-power stuff. Then we've got Oakheim Adversary. 4 mana for a 2/3, but the spell can cost 2 less to cast if an opponent controls a green permanent, which is pretty likely green, incredibly powerful and popular colour in Commander. It's got Death Touch, and whenever it deals combat damage to the player, draw a card. Excellent bit of card advantage. Really helps churn through the deck. Then we've got Oran Viper. 3 mana for a 1/3. When it deals combat damage to the creature, destroy that creature at end of combat. So very similar to Death Touch. I think it's slightly different because it's at the end of combat, but whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So excellent, absolutely fantastic way of getting a bit of advantage, getting in there each turn, drawing a card, and it's a Snow Snake. Ooh, wonderful. Then we've got the bigger brother of the Snow Snake, Oran Frostfang, 5 mana for a 2/6. Attacking creatures you control have Death Touch, so that's all of your creatures, and whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So if we're going to be making a ton of tokens, which we might be doing in a bit, might be part of this team, this is going to be incredible because it's going to draw us tons and tons of cards. And just giving all of our tokens, you know, all the creatures Death Touch, really powerful because even if our opponents block it, they're going to be losing their blocker. Finally, we've got Spawn Wraith. 3 mana for a 2/2 with Trample. Whoa, trampling 2/2s. And whenever it deals combat damage to a player, put a token that's a copy of it onto the battlefield. So this is really cool. You know, if we can keep getting more and more copies of it, it's really, really nice. And then speaking of tokens, in at number 3, what have we got? Well, no. Oh, my transition failed because I messed it up. So this card is all about the +1 +0 sort of theme. And Hearth Charm is fantastic. I've never seen this card before. 1 red for an instant. Choose 1. Destroy a target artifact creature. So Solemn Simulacrum or, you know, Blightsteel Colossus, who is indestructible, but you can still destroy him. Then all attacking creatures get +1 +0 until end of turn. So very similar to our Commander's ability. And target creature with power 2 or less is unblockable this turn. So this card does 2 of the things that we want it to do. Mainly being, you know, destroying an artifact creature. But this is a fantastic card and really leads me into sort of wanting to play around with the Battle Cry mechanic. So Garbage Elemental, or at least one version of the Garbage Elemental. 5 mana for a 3/2 with Battle Cry, which means whenever this creature attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1 +0 until end of turn. And when it enters the battlefield, roll 2d6 dice, creates a number of 1/1 red Goblin creature tokens equal to the difference between those rolls. Now that we've added dice rolling into Black Border, I think you should just be able to play this. It works fantastically. It's exactly what the deck wants. Makes a ton of tokens. And it also has Battle Cry, which is, you know, giving all of our things, you know, extra power, which is great with tokens. Then we have Signal Pest. 1 mana for a 0/1 with Battle Cry, so when it attacks, each other attacking creature gets +1 +0 until end of turn. And it can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. So a lot of the time you're going to be swinging in. Someone just won't have a flyer and you can swing at them and keep your Signal Pest alive, and it's going to buff all of the rest of our creatures. Then we've got Goblin War Driver, 2 mana 2/2 with Battle Cry. That's it. I love this artwork. It's just so pointy and sort of stubby, and he's just flying through the air, you know, getting ready to kill whoever's coming. I love it. Really, really cool mechanic. Which brings me on to, well, if we're going to be battle crying, why don't we have a lot of creature tokens? See, that transition worked. This is a token making machine. It's Tilonelli's, I think, Tilonelli's summoner. 2 mana for a 1/1 with a send. So if you control 10 or more permanents, you get the city's blessing for the rest of the game. Just exists in sort of a realm off into the distant past. And whenever it attacks, you may pay red and X. If you do, create X 1/1 red elemental creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. At the beginning of the next end step, exile those tokens unless you have the city's blessing. So pump a bunch of mana into it, you're going to get to city's blessing and then you have it forever. So this card and cards like it are really, really cool with this commander because you can attack. The 2 triggers go on the stack. You can choose how they resolve. So if you resolve this first, you get all of your tokens, and then our commander's ability resolves, and all of those tokens get +1/+0. Really, really awesome abilities. And it just works so, so well, and we get to keep all of those tokens. But what about a couple of other token makers? Krenko Tin Street Kingpin, 3 mana for a 1/2. Whenever it attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. Then creates a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to Krenko's power. So again, we can stack it however we want, although these tokens won't be attacking, but you can ensure that, you know, you're getting as much advantage from it as possible. Then we've got Nakotl War Pride, Cat Warrior, 3/3 for a 6 mana. No, other way around. 6 mana for a 3/3. Whenever it attacks, put X tokens into play, tapped and attacking, where there are copies of it, where X is the number of creatures defending player controls. Remove the tokens from the game at end of turn. And it can be blocked by exactly 1 creature. Pretty good. Really, really cool. But again, we can stack this so we get all of the tokens and then they get the buff from our commander or any of the battle cry creatures that we're attacking with. Really, really awesome. Makes an absolute massive army. Really, really nice. If only this had 2 power. Sadly, it doesn't. So, you know, you might end up losing your original Nakotl War Pride. But it's going to be fantastic getting a bunch of tokens that are 4/3s, maybe bigger with other battle cry effects. Then we've got Tana the Bloodsower, 4 mana for a 2/2 with Trample. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green sapling creature tokens. Really, really nice effect. It's one of those cards that has 2 power, so we can get in there with all of our things that make 2 power creatures unblockable. And maybe there's a couple of ways that we can buff it. You know, our commander's ability is going to buff it, but maybe there's a couple of other ways. A great card here, Hanaway Garrison. 3 mana for a 2/3. Whenever it attacks, put 2 1/1 red human creature tokens onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. So this works very similar to the Tilonelli's summoner. So we can stack this so we get the 1/1s that are tapped and attacking, and then our commander's ability goes off and makes them into 2/1s and this into a 3/3. Absolutely fantastic. But wait, there's more. Hanaway Battlements is a land that taps for a colourless. You can pay a red and tap it, tag a creature against haste until end of turn, so really, really nice with a commander. Get in there once it's died, and then you can pay 5 and tap it. If you both own and control Hanaway Battlements and a creature named Hanaway Garrison, exile them and then meld them into Hanaway, the Writhing Township. Look at that artwork, just pitchforks and all sorts of things going all over the place. It looks amazing and horrifying at the same time. Trample and Haste 7/4. Whenever it attacks, put 2 3/2 Colossal Eldrazi horror creature tokens onto the battlefield, tapped and attacking. So again, works exactly the same way, and we can get those up to 4/2s. Wow. And this is also going to be an 8/4. It's really, really cool. And if you get off the meld, you just have this massive card. It's just 2 cards stuck together. You swing it. Oh, it feels phenomenal. Which brings me on to my number 1 pick. And we've not really talked about the power doubling of our commander. And these cards are all based around that and ways that we can sort of use it. So killing someone with command damage is definitely something we can do in this deck. And Berserk is one of the best ways to do it. 1 green for an instant, cast it only before the combat damage step. Tag creature against trample, which is important. You know, if we've not made our commander unblockable, giving it trample is incredible. And plus X plus O until end of turn, where X is its power. Although at the beginning of the next end step, destroy that creature if it attacked this turn. One of my favorite things about it is actually that last line of text. If you use this on one of your opponent's creatures, an Elish Gnoll maybe, they have to destroy it at the end of turn. Really, really awesome ability. Absolutely fantastic. It's a removal spell. It's a win condition. So, so good. Proxy it up if you can't afford to buy it. Amazing card. Then we've got a brand new card here in Choose Your Weapon. 3 mana for an instant. Choose one. 2 weapon fighting, so you're dual wielding all over the place. Double target creature's power and toughness until an end of turn. So absolutely fantastic. Yes, we can use our commander's ability to pump it, or anything, but this could go onto one of our other creatures, which is the main thing. Our commander can do it by itself, but we do have other creatures we could potentially use that on. And then archery, this spell deals 5 damage to target creature with flying. That's fantastic. Maybe you're facing off against Dragon Lord Silumgar's a 3/5, steals your commander, you just go bleh and kill it. Absolutely fantastic. And having that modal ability is so, so powerful. Having that choice is just incredible. Then we've got Temur Battle Rage, 2 mana for an instant. Target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Incredibly powerful when we're buffing our commander's power, because then we hit twice. And then Ferocious, this creature also gains trample until end of turn if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. Well, hopefully we will, because our commander can at least double himself up to a 4/4, and we've got tons of 2/2s flying all over the place. So maybe we could buff one of them. Then we've got Unleash Fury, 2 mana for an instant, double the power of target creature until end of turn. Absolutely fantastic. Does exactly what our commander wants to do. And I've chosen all these cards because all of them are instants. And the whole deck we want to be, getting in when our commander's a 2/2, then buffing it in combat. So all of these allow us to do it because they are instants. But sometimes we can't make our commander unblockable. So giving it trample is an excellent way to go. Nihilea, God of the Hunt, is a 4 mana 6/6 with indestructible. As long as your devotion to green is less than 5, it isn't a creature. And other creatures you control have trample. And then you can pay 4 mana, target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So not that useful on our commander because it's 4 mana to just double its power. So that'll be 2, then 4, then 8, and so on and so forth. But we can use this on one of our other creatures. And Ronus the Indomitable is a very similar sort of card. 3 mana for a 5/5 Death Touch indestructible. It can't attack or block unless you control another creature with power 4 or greater. So a bit against the sort of theme of the deck, but wait, there's more. We can pay 3, another target creature gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. So we can use that at instant speed in our combat step, when our commander's unblockable, give it that trample and +2/+0 and then double its power up to 8. Or we could potentially use this before combat on one of our 2/2s, make it into a 4-power creature, and we can attack in with Ronus. Really, 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 really nice. And you can also block with him, to be fair. And then there's Neath the Dire Hunt of the Dire Hunt. She or he himself is not actually the hunt. 4 mana for a 3/3. Whenever one or more creatures you control fight or become blocked, draw a card. So this I really like because, yes, we could put in a lot of sort of fight spells. Green and red are very good at that. But we want to dissuade our opponents from blocking any of our creatures. So giving that ability, the ability to draw tons of cards from all of our little tokens and everything, it'll make our opponents think twice about blocking them. And, oh, okay, they've blocked him. Well, we've just drawn a boatload of cards. Then at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3. If you do, double target creature's power until end of turn. That creature must be blocked this combat if they're not able. So really, really nice. Absolutely great. Doubles, one of our other creatures, maybe not our commander, and then it has to be blocked. So hopefully we're using that as removal, and we're going to be drawing a card because it's going to get blocked. So that's a really, really good card for the deck. And those are my top cards for this commander. I think it's really quite a cool commander, and sort of playing around with that unblockable and then, buffing the power. It's a really cool sort of pace to play the game at. It's really, really nice. It's quite similar to sort of a limited game, I think. And, I enjoy it. Very, very cool commander. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, please do like, comment, subscribe, and eat some ice cream scantily clad if you want. Don't send me pictures of it. I don't want to see anything like that. But if you want to do it, do it. Thanks for watching. Bye.